welcome back to Rottumer Island. We're parked up, just admiring, not that you can see it from this level, the tram lines. They look splendiferous. And, yeah, our oats are growing rather nicely. He says, trampling them all down. So, we are into April, and we are going mowing. I did look to see if there was just a side mower for the rear, but they're all a little bit small or K-branded. So, yeah, we're going to leave that. Now, the thought was that maybe that would be an easier setup for the shape of the fields. That was my logic. But we'll go with what we've got, and plus this way we can just swath if we need to. We haven't got to always go through and do the windrowing. So the plan is to unfold the brick. What? Don't quite know what happened to the mowers then. Is to get a lot of mowing done, basically. If we take a look at time saving stock check, we've got nearly 1 million litres of silage. We probably need to do... That was what we were going to do, wasn't it? So we'll do the hay, which kind of changes my plan, but it's fine. So the plan will be to mow. We'll drop for hay. We'll do however many fields of hay we think we need. I mean, we're in April, so we're going to get a chance to do a couple more cuts, hopefully. But the other thing, if you look, we've now got 50,000 litres of herbicide. That is awesome. 40,000 litres of mineral feed. And we need digestate. We've got 30,000 litres, which might be worth transporting at some point to our production to make fur. So, yeah, we're going to need to do that. So it's going to be quite a busy day. So we might do a bit of mowing, bit of moving stuff around, that sort of thing. But for now, we're going to get field 1 cut. And I need to remember that when we baled it, I need to check and compare the amounts that we got versus what we'd cut before precision farming. It's easy for me to say. So let's get... No. Low. We need to be on the rear ones, and we need to be wide spreading. There we go. Right, now let's go. That's better. So it's been about a couple of weeks since I did a recording, but the way it's fell with time and whatnot. So last week for you, you'll have had 3 videos, which are the last 3 that I recorded a couple of weeks ago. Makes sense? Good. Last week was a bit hectic. So, you know, we dealt with that. But luckily I've got some videos that could be edited, so did all those on Sunday. I was really organised. Managed to get on the multiplayer server for a little bit as well, which was lonely to start off with. But then I got on again on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was. And Rainman hopped on, and we were injecting slurry in one of the arable fields that we've got, and making a start on the big grass field. So it was good fun. it was good fun. I think maybe an hour, if that. But yeah, it wasn't a massive sesh, but it was good fun nonetheless. And it is there for everybody to use. You know, if you want to join the Discord, you know, say hello. We'll get the role assigned, and then you can hop on to the server. So it's not overly busy, but yeah, it was still good fun to get on. And I think I was just carting slurry, you know, but it was good fun. It was good fun nevertheless. So I don't think this is going to take too long. So what I'll do is I'll crack on and do a wee little bit more, and then catch up with you rather shortly. So not quite wide enough to get all in one pass, but never mind. And yeah, I'd not forgotten, but I suppose I had forgotten in a sense that, yeah, we've got the old yield map now for the grass cutting and the harvesting, so it's looking pretty good, which is nice to see. Let's get those turned off, lifted up and folded. I'm not quite sure it did the old weird animation before, but let's go. We can go out this way, can't we? Just bump along the freshly mown grass. I think what we'll do now, just thinking out loud, this is never good for anybody involved, is we'll head to the, we'll go to the, we'll go to the BGA. We will grab ourselves some digestate and plonk it in to the production to get that kicked off, and then what we can do is carry on doing a bit more mowing. I think that was probably it. So I don't know why I'm walking. Ridiculous. Cows are good. Beef stock is going up in value, which is rather helpful. So let's grab the tanker, head down, grab the digestate, bring it back up, dump that into the production, and then yeah, crack on getting the grass cut. So I know that the tram lines generated by the, I guess the NPC fields are a bit generic. Well, I guess they all are really, but it does, I do like seeing them on a map. You know what I'm trying to say? It makes it look a lot better, I think. It's not a bad thing. I mean, they could do with a bit of tweaking. You know, some of the entrance points are questionable, but whether that's because, you know, on this map in particular, we've got a lot of ditches, that sort of thing. I don't know, but why are we not getting a trigger for digestate? That's because we're on the wrong one. There we go. So what this means now is, once this is saved, we can go to, how much lime have we got? 25,000 litres. So 1,000 litres of digestate, 80 lime, and okay, that's good. So we may need to keep doing the old carting, but for now, let's turn that off and that, and get you to there. Now, what else was we going to do? Were we going to do? let's just have a quick check of things. So that can now be deactivated. That's awesome. Now clearly we've got, no, wrong one, a significant loan, but I mean, I'm tempted to put in a sell anywhere point. So when we do, because we're never going to use 50,000 litres of herbicide. So we could sell some of that. Potentially we could sell some of the mineral feed. That might be worth doing. We just need to remember to get that done. So let's fire up this bad boy. Back up just a touch. There we go. Get unfolded. Doing it again. Why is that doing that? That is bizarre. How odd. How odd indeed. Now, there we go. Let's concentrate. Let's get onto the field first. There we go. So last week, like I said, I didn't necessarily need to record when I had chance. So I found myself, and this was I blame Disturbed. Everything's Disturbed's fault. He blames me for everything, so therefore I am going to blame him. Now, I bought myself a little birthday present in the form of... Did we get all of that? We did. We're not going to get all of that, though, with that line. Nice one, Carjack. Bought myself Schedule 1. So if you're not familiar with it, it's a horticultural game where the products are not necessarily legal, but it's just a time sink. It's incredibly addictive. And I think it was, I mean, talk about value for money, really. It was, what, 16 pounds? 16.95, something like that. It was under 17 quid. And I've probably sunk 30 hours into it already. It's simple yet just so much fun. You know, time management of making sure things are grown for people and then delivered. The expansion that you can do into sort of, you know, a bigger property, which means you can grow more product, employing people, making the different mixes for different things. It's really good. And like I say, for value for money, it's awesome. Yeah, if you're into your sort of simulation type games, which you know, most of us seem to be, then yeah, I'd well recommend it. And for a single developer, it's pretty darn good. I'm just playing off the Steam version. I haven't gone to the developer one, the beta, whatever it is, but yeah, really enjoying it. So yeah, I blame Disturbed for 30, probably 30 plus hours sunk into that already. But it's nice. It's nice to, you know, if you were to, I suppose it depends on your mindset really. If you were to sort of just play the same thing over and over and over again, you'd get fed up with it. So to have that other sort of, not escape's the wrong word, change of pace, maybe, I suppose you'd say. It's good fun. It's good fun. I did it with Timberborn, and then that sort of died off. I got a bit bored with it, but yeah, just fancied a change, so that fell by the wayside. I'm not going to make content on Schedule 1. You know, you leave that to others to do, but it is a good game. It is good fun, and like I say, it's a nice change. And yeah, just try not to get arrested half the time. But no, it all sort of laughing. It's nice to play something a bit different, and like I say, value for money. You can't knock that at all, to be fair. Yeah. Thanks, Disturbed. Second field ticked off from a mowing perspective. Anyway, let's go. Can we get across that way? I can never remember. Yeah, we can, I think. So we'll do that one, and that'll. Can we? Yes, we can. Yes. It was a little bit Clarkson-esque. We've watched the fourth. It's the fourth series, isn't it? Yes. Of Clarkson's Farm. There's people going to say, "Oh, he's not doing much farming this time," but I actually really liked it from the point of view that, drop that down. There we go. We're going to get all that. Yes. They finally got the sort of cooperative farm into fruition. I actually found that not even emotional, but the fact that they could finally do it with the restaurant, and yes, there's supply chain issues, and like they were saying, you know, it's not like a big sort of wholesaler where everything is there on tap, but they'll sort that, you know, and just the fact, I don't know, the bit I laughed at probably the most was when they were when they finally got the GPS working. I hope this doesn't spoil it for anybody. And he got cruise control set. It's just the panic on both their faces was so funny. I really did like that. But I thought it was a good series. You know, everybody will say, I wish there was more. But the way they do it, they go harvest to harvest, don't they? So, you know, and the fact that he documented the fact that it was, you know, a really poor harvest, one of the wettest years on record or whatever it was. And you go, you kind of forget with the weather that we've had recently, like the nice weather, you kind of forget that, because it's the polar opposite to what it was last year. So it is, and you know, the fact that I can't remember the name of the score that they were trying to measure on the wheat. The fact that it didn't even register because it was it just gone. They couldn't get out on to harvest it. just it highlights the fact that that's a real, you know, it does. It's not just farmers aren't just moaning for the sake of moaning. They need to get the crops off while I'm just going to use the word goodness is still, you know, in the grain. But yeah, I thought it was a good series, and he's a very clever bloke. You know, whatever your thoughts on him might be and all that lot, he's a very clever bloke. And even like the idea of having the Grand Tour tent, you know, he was sort of sat, and then he had this brainwave. Just, you know, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend watching it if you haven't already. So what are we on? 5 to 12. I think times 3 is alright at the minute because we've got quite a bit to be doing. So I'm not going to rush through the day, but we're making good progress. I am almost tempted to... Let's think about this. What we might do as a minimum is, once we've cut this field, we will grab the tedder, we will ted field 1 and potentially windrow and bale that, just because then I've done my little experiment. Although it wasn't perfect, was it? So, you know, we may still improve, but we'll get a good idea. And then call that an episode. And then next time we'll ted and windrow these two. Then see how much hay we end up with, as to whether then we could do any of the remaining fields for silage. I think that is going to be the plan. So, I will get this one finished, grab the tedder, and I'll see you in field 1. Well, I've mentioned before in videos about realistic livestock by Arrow, and the fact that it was I was using a GitHub version, so it actually released on, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Now, I did also say when I made the we need to name the farm video that was running on the multiplayer server. I misspoke. So at the time, and I haven't checked it yet because I did look at the mod desk on ModHub, funnily enough, and it didn't mention multiplayer because when I looked at GitHub, it said currently multiplayer not supported. So I need to try and see if it is indeed now working for multiplayer. I don't know, because I think that would be kind of cool, almost easier potentially, because you could have people ferrying animals about. As fun as that sounds, I don't know, but yeah, I like it. I played with it a little bit, like I say, on the sort of personal side of the save, and yeah, it could be, you know, quite an in-depth. Depends how, it's like most things. It depends how much you want to do it, doesn't it? You know, take Maze Plus, take Terra Life. You can still play the game how you want, or you can go really, really in depth. And that's what's good about mods like that, is you can sort of pick and choose your level of difficulty, realism, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I need to look at that. I need to have a look at that and see if it is now multiplayer compatible. But either way, not knocking the bloke, because you know it is an awesome mod. So I've done the windrowing, just trying to move things along a little bit. So I have, or had, emptied the baler of grass. So now on the hay field, well, on the field picking up the hay, just to try and to make the test, no, it's not a test, experiment a little more accurate. I've also reset the bale counter. So yeah, I mean, it looks a lot. I do like the stop. You're just gonna dump that out? Fantastic. There's a few bits around the edges that where the sort of bund of the field is, it wouldn't quite windrow in. So whether we go back round and get all of those, I don't know yet. We'll see. But I mean, 13,000 litres already. Look at me with the quick maths. 2 times 6,500. I think, yeah, we're gonna do all right. We're gonna do all right, and that makes me think that we should be okay with just the 3 fields of hay. Ha ha ha. I think I might be losing the plot. Oh dear. But I mean, we did do this. Yeah, we weren't bang on amazing with this, were we? So, you know, it might be a relatively sort of, do you need to have everything perfect? You know, we can now. The good thing is, saying that now we are getting through a cut, we can see what the lime's doing. I mean, there's going to be bits that are still well over what they needed to be, just because it put that much down. But we can go through, we can get some slurry or manure on it, probably. Well, we can. There's no probably about it, we can. Because I think we're up to, what were we up to? Manure, oh, it would be there, 150,000 litres. I'm sure there's more than that. I'm sure there's more. I think there's probably about 400 and something when I looked, but I might be wrong. It has been known. Not very often, but it has been known. So what I'll do is I'll do a bit more of the baling. Probably get the most of the centre of the field done, and then I'll catch back with you when we're on the final headland, and yeah, we'll see how we're going for a total. Well, we seem to be spitting out bales quite quickly, so I'm hopeful that the yield will be better. Now, like I say, we know it wasn't perfectly perfect, because the lime would have messed things up a touch, but still, I mean, I don't want to look how many we've got. I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, I'm incredibly hopeful, people. I'm incredibly hopeful. I think once we've done this, like I say, it'll give us a good idea then about the other fields, and like I say, I think we're pretty good on just doing the 3. So that means the others will be silage, which we'll do in hopefully a different colour. Wrap, that is, not different colour grass. Oh. And then we'll know which ones are for sale. So let's just see if we can back up and get enough turn to be on this swath. We missed any? Maybe a little bit. Oh no, it was actually pretty good, to be fair. There we go. You can see what I mean about little bits around the edges where it's kind of too much of a bump and not dragged it in. So depending on how close we are to getting a full bale, we might go around and get them bits. But yeah, I think so far we're looking pretty good. So last bit of what's the sort of majority that's left. You can see there's a few bits around. We'll probably grab those because they are on the field, but other than that, that is not too shabby. Yeah. Then we'll just grab a few bits that are left. I'm not going to go too mad about it. But yeah, I've not looked yet, so we'll have a look shortly. I think the majority of the bits were this side. There we go, so starting here. And you can see it was a little bit wide for the swath here. There we go. Now we're not going to get a full bale, but that is not bad at all. There we go, quite a bit here. There we go. Right, so let's turn that off. Let's grab ourselves a calculator, and we got 20 bales. So 20 times 6,500 is 130,000. 2,500 litres in the baler. 132. 132,000 litres. So that's 30,000 litres more, give or take a bit, with precision farming than without, funnily enough. I'm just going to grab this bit down here, just because if I can see it, it's quite a bit. There we go. This bit was poor driving, so there we go. So that is, and like I say, that, you know, that's without it being perfectly perfect. So I'm really pleased with that. So we need to get these collected. I'll probably do it all in one run, to be fair, once I've done the other two fields as well. But yeah, that was worth doing, and it's only going to get better, isn't it? So hopefully, you know, next time we'll have a look at the pH. We can sling some nitrogen down in the form of manure, probably. But yeah, all good. A worthwhile test. I'm pleased with that. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Massive shout out to the YouTube channel members and the Patreons. Thank you all very much. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.